Well, good morning. Today is April 13th, 2022, on my way into the day job. And yesterday, I worked on the taxes, made some progress there. Still have to refine the mileage log, and still have to double check and make sure that all of the Schedule C stuff has been completed and decide whether or not I'm going to pursue the office deduction. And that's something I know I've done in the past, although it doesn't show that I claimed that last year, and that requires, measuring stuff at the house. I don't even know where my tape measure is. So, not sure if I'm going to go through that process. I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to owe anything or not get anything back as a 1099 recipient. Yesterday, as far as additional income, had all the plans in the world to do a secondary source of income, although got hit end of day with 3 jobs for the primary source of income for after hours. And that project was supposed to be ready at 5 o'clock, 5:30, and 5:45, and that was not ready until 7:45. So I had to make multiple calls to nurses and find out what they wanted us to do, and they were wanting to only complete the one that I had gotten at 5 o'clock, 5:30, and but they said, if I was willing to wait, that would be beautiful. So I opted to wait and got some information from where I was picking it up. I guess their computers had gone down, and unfortunately, their IT staff, I think, is in Louisville, Kentucky, versus here in the Phoenix area. And so, being an IT person, all I asked was, is there a manual process, the old-fashioned way, like the cash registers go down? Do you just shut down the business, or do you still take orders because you've got the product and manually enter the stuff on forms and go through your checklists so that you can data enter once the system is back up and running? And was told by one of the top regional managers that was there on staff that I've been chatting with about golf and whatnot. And I have a fairly good relationship, although I can't tell you what his name is. He's just like, no, we don't have any type of a manual system. Well, personally, I would be like, all right, well, that's a challenge. There's no reason why the business should go down. Break out the paper forms and go and have your backup plan. I always have a backup plan and a backup plan to a backup plan. And so, I just, okay, totally get it, totally understand. I'm not going to be able to make this guy do what I need him to do. And with the primary source of income, we charge for waiting time. So, I'm making money still while I'm sitting there waiting. And Jim had already said, even if they opt not to do it, we're still going to charge them. So it's like, I'll go ahead and wait and make the extra $75 or whatever to wait until 7:45. So I got the beds at 7:45, got home around 10:20 that night. Obviously, then too late for the secondary source of income. So I made bank on the primary source of income for after hours that pretty much took care of the entire week for the secondary source of income as far as matching. So overall, it was a phenomenal experience, phenomenal decision making, maximized the money, got all 3 of the product, made sure that the recipient and their organization was still on track, so they got their stuff, and it's not going to have that trickle down effect or that ripple throughout their organization and their patients and whatnot. So I just played well, and as a result, I'm going to get compensated well. So today, one of the credit cards is due, so I'm going to drain everything from the business checking account to throw what funds are available in the savings in the checking account towards the credit card, because tomorrow is payday for the primary source of income, and we're going to be getting a really nice check there. And then we're going to pay some other bills Thursday and Friday. Cox, APS, water, and bank up the remaining funds. Bank up the remaining funds so that we can almost possibly pay off another credit card. So things are looking good. Once we build up a bigger cushion, then I'll start taking care of the medical bills from the accident that happened back in last August, and throw those onto the credit card to rinse, wash, and repeat, and do the process over again. Since we're short individuals for the primary source of income, it's allowing me to go out during the day. I'm still making my base pay, and then I'm making additional income, which is supercharging this whole process. And that's a good thing. So life lesson for all of that is, sometimes, you may sit down and go, I'm frustrated, the stuff's not there like it's supposed to be, what do I do? Sometimes it's best to be still. Sometimes, just grabbing and going, isn't going to maximize your effort. The only thing that would have been different is if I would have grabbed it. Jim said, I still was going to get paid, so I still would have maximized those funds. But I didn't get the extra waiting time, and by the time I would have gotten back, the question is, do I want to do the secondary source of income, just for a couple of hours? And so sometimes you just have to weigh all those decisions, and it comes down to probability and statistics. It comes down to time management. It comes down to the political side with your customers, and you just have to take all that stuff into consideration. If you're not in a position at your job that you have to use all those skills, well, it also affects family and time spent, and sleep, and risk reward. Is your significant other going to be frustrated at the fact that you were out all night? Although in this case, I was going to be out all night anyway, making income. The only difference here is that I was able to maximize that by making the proper choices. And so, like I said, sometimes you get the job and it's a single, and then all of a sudden it turns into a double or a triple or a home run. And you're going to get those every now and then. You're not always going to get those with the choices that you make, but occasionally that windfall comes in and you just receive it, and then you have the decision as to, now that I've got that reward and I've transferred that time into cash, what am I going to do with the cash? And that's where most of us fail in society, is that we think, wow, now I have all this extra cash, and what can I go buy? Versus, I've got all this extra cash, let me live with mediocre expenses and bank the rest so that you can start making that money on top of money. So those are a couple of little life lessons for you to ponder on as you watch these videos. And as a by the way, I still did not hear back from Fabio, the guy who's doing the engine inside of the Dodge Grand Caravan. Right now my attitude is, it's going to get done when it's going to get done, and it doesn't do me any good to hound this guy anymore. I won the $50, told him to sell me the money, and I haven't checked to see if that money has come in, but I really doubt that. If the guy can't even do what he said he was going to do in order to win the $50, and why would there be any expectation that he would be honorable enough to honor his own bet and sell me the money. So, and the irony is, if he would have called me and said, hey, I wasn't able to do it, then I would have given him the $50 just because he did what I asked him to do, and that's to communicate with me. So, a little frustrating, but you cannot make somebody do what they don't want to do. You can't make them drink, but another little life lesson is you can't make somebody do something. You can't make them drink, for instance, but you can salt their tongue to make them themselves decide that, hey, it's a good idea to take a drink. And I thought that we were going through that process by sweetening the pot and putting an extra $50, in his pocket, but he still opted not to do that. So at this point, I'm kind of curious as to whether I'm going to get my car back with no engine in it, and if he's going to get shut down, just like the other gentleman that was working on Tracy's Monte Carlo did. So then the question is, how do I get my asset back from the shop? So and the nice thing is, car's out of the yard. So car was dead anyway. I'm not really losing anything. I'm missing the body of the vehicle, and I've spent, I think, $21.50 so far on that car. And even though I offered to have him go on out and pay cash for a brand new part instead of nickeling and diming this thing, I got the money, but he's thinking that I'm really hurting for cash and don't have the ability to take care of this. So, all right, well, I'm at work. I'm going to let you go. I hope those life lessons and my experience helps you along the way and helps you make some proper decisions. Not every situation is the same. I get that. It's just my experience, and I wanted to share with you. And if you're able to get some value out of that, fantastic. If you're able to share that story with the kids, grandkids, fantastic. So I'm going to let you go. Get in there, transfer phones, and get started, and go make some additional cash. So we'll talk to you later. Bye for now.